Anambra governorship verdict goes full hog. Hard day in court with Soludo's hold still solid. Push and pull within the APC took a dramatic turn this week with a group taking on the Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee. These the expected dances of the masquerade with the general election when the general election gets closer, or is it a sign of deeper cracks? Also today on Political Updates, the youth say they will play a more decisive role in determining who leads come 2023. Plus, civil society organizations put stakeholders to task on speedy assent to the Electoral Amendment Bill. We have this and other issues on today's program. My name is Fisayo Ogunfuyi. Welcome. This week, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has dismissed the suit filed by two eligible voters seeking disqualification of Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo and his deputy Onyeka Ibezim in the November 6th Anambra governorship election on the allegation that they provided false information.
The matter was filed by Adindu Onyebuchi Valentine and Chukwuebuka Egudike, who say they are interested Anambra State indigents. They allege that the governor-elect, Charles Soludo, wrote on his INEC nomination form that he was contesting for the Agwata 2 state constituency seat, while the deputy governor-elect, Onyeka Ibezim, wrote that he was contesting the Awka constituency seat. The court, in dismissing the submissions of the plaintiffs, observed that while it was within their rights as voters to scrutinize anyone seeking elective office, the suit was an abuse of court process because the defendants have not violated any law by their action. Moreover, it was public knowledge that the Anambra poll was the election taking place at the period in time. Justice Taiwo Taiwo dismissed the case for lacking merit with a fine of 2 million naira against the plaintiffs. INEC, ABGA, Soludo, and Ibezim are the defendants in the matter.
The All Progressives Congress Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee wants party members, especially the youths, to use the proposed February 2022 National Convention to mobilize and encourage more participation from people within that demographic.
A reconciliation committee has been set up. Reach out to them. If you can't reach out to them, go to the party secretariat and drop your grievances. When it is not addressed, then you can shout to the high heavens that, look, you have such grievances and it has not been addressed. The president has agreed with the recommendation. The NEC would have to be convened at some point. Every member of the party at this point is supposed to go back to grassroots and start mobilizing from home back. But we call on everyone who is a genuine member of this party, who has this party at heart, to come and sit down and begin to strategize on the best way to get out of it. We as young people, what we want is we want a huge number of NWC members and NEC members to be young people.
Now, joining us in the studio is Saliu Audu, coordinator concerned APC stakeholders. We reached out also to Prince Mustafa Audu of the Progressive Youth Movement, PYM, but he declined at the last moment. We hope to still get him into the studio either today or in the coming weeks to get perhaps that the perspective from that quarter as well. Now, let's welcome Aliu Audu. Thank you very much for joining us, especially at a short notice.
Thank you.
But we want you, since we are outsiders, we want to know exactly what is happening within the party. This week has witnessed some, what I should call some verbal jousting within the party. What led to this, and how are the issues being resolved?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Nigerians. It's pretty simple. The caretaker committee were inaugurated by the president, by the NEC, and NEC of our party, and they had one and only one mandate, organize the convention, and bring in newly elected leaders of the party who should, take charge of the day-to-day running of the party as they should for National Working Committee, considering everything that happened that led to the dissolution of the previous NWC. the 6 months came and nothing was done. Then they decided to embark on new party registration in the name of revalidation, which in itself created a series of issues for the party. We had, parallel registration going on in different states. We had people who were denied the right to register, considering the fact that the, first registration we did was less than 10 years ago, 2014. I agree there's need for continuous, bringing in people into the party, but there was no need for overall, registration of, telling everybody to go back and re-register, especially when there was no value added in the registration process. Nothing was automated. The form we filled was the same we filled in 2014. So what was the need for it? They might make excuses of all sorts, but then that has been done. The 6 months went by, another 6 months went by. And of course, except we want to pretend ourselves, it's been discussed in different corners. Their intention is not to.
But let me because we couldn't get through to even two of you guys. Just like I said, we wanted to get in Prince Mustafa Audu, who has another issue, of course, an axe to grind there. But we can actually even begin to project into an intention. But what we have on ground now is there is a tentative date, or at least a month. In the window.
There are 28 days in February. What day exactly in February is going to be the convention? This announcement was made by who? The chairman of the Progressive Forum after visitation to the president. Between the day they made this announcement, there has not been official communication from the caretaker committee to the party members or even to the public on when this convention is. It's not going to happen in the whole of February. Between 1st to 28th of February, when is it going to happen? There's been no communication. It's been 2 weeks. There's been no planning. Zoning arrangement has not been shared. Form is not up on sale. Are you saying you're going to wake up on the 15th of February and say, oh, convention is 2 weeks from now, where people can't really do what the process requires in terms of democracy? We expect by now this would have been outlined. We are going to start sale of form, this form. It's going to cost this much, and people can make plans. People who have intention to run for offices. What we actually want, the changes we are the APC stakeholders, concerned APC stakeholder, asking for the total rebirth of the party, is that we want things to be done and done differently. Meaning it has to be transparent. We have to plan. Not just wake up 2 days to a day and say, the usual 11th hour approach and say, oh, we don't have time, we can't do this. Then you bring in people into position. No, we don't want people who want to run for national secretary being given treasurer. We want people who know their strength, their capacity, know the position within the NWC that they want to run for. Let them plan for it. Let them buy their form. Let them go for screening. At least let there be a week between screening and the day of the convention so that people know who is running for what position. Make known the list of delegates who are going to vote on this convention so that these people can approach them seeking their support. That's how democratic process should be. Not keep everything close to you so that in the last minute when it's pretty difficult for ordinary human beings, ordinary members to reach out to these people. We are talking about National Working Committee, 36 states of the Federation, and the FCT are going to be involved in this. So if someone is going to want to run for National Secretary, it means he needs to reach out to delegates from all of these states. He can't do this in 3 weeks. He can't do this in 2 weeks, if we are being honest with ourselves.
All right, so yours is not the only group within the party. Yeah, we saw the other party, we saw the opposition, the PDP, and how eventually they were able to get, a new chairman. It seems to me as if we read the tea leaves, this happens every time we're approaching elections. We get to have this, push and pull. Eventually, then we get the convention underway. Eventually, after some of the things we're saying now. Yes,
but this time we want it done differently. We can't keep doing things the same way and expect different outcome. What happened to the previous National Working Committee that was dissolved before even halfway their tenure? You see this idea of imposing candidates on positions, on people, we need to stop it. Mr. President has repeatedly said he wants power returned to the people, the ordinary people, on the back of whom we won this election in 2015. This is not a party for governors, ex-governors, former senators. No, it is party for the people, by the people, of the people. So basically, what we are saying is, this so-called strong cabal, these people of, I mean, I don't have to be a governor first to be able to vie for a position. I don't have to be chosen by a governor to run for a position. I have a dream of my own. I should be able to say, I want to run for this because I have this to offer. So basically, if the process is transparent and is free, we can go ahead and do this. You see, all of the groups coming up in the APC, if there was no problem, I mean, there won't be agitation, and that's the truth. You see that we have crises everywhere. We have 3 factions in Enugu State today. The secretary of the caretaker committee himself, in his state, they have parallel Congress in his own state. But yet he says everything is all right. Former Governor Pabio has his own. He has his own in his own state. So we don't want to, when we came to join APC, following President Muhammad Buhari's lead because of his person, we knew we expect things to be done differently. And we are not going to let some people, for their selfish reason, tarnish the legacy of Mr. President.
All right, we'll still come back. And of course, there's an aspect I would like to perhaps look at, and that is the issue of, youth involvement, especially in governance, not just as Kano fodder during elections. But let's take this one. 13 suspected political thugs have been arrested by the Kano State Police Command following the destruction of the campaign office of Senator Barau Jibrin, representing Kano North. Large quantities of dangerous weapons and illicit drugs were recovered during the operation.
Early hours of Thursday morning, a group of thugs carrying dangerous weapons stormed the campaign office of Senator Barau Jibrin along Maiduguri Road, where they destroyed and cut away property worth millions of naira. Although the thugs attempted to set ablaze the office, but to no avail, following the prompt response by the team of Operation Puff Adder. Items recovered include 34 dangerous weapons, 23 clubs, 2 gallons of suspected PMS, 24 sachets of diazepam tablets, bunch of charms, 2 ceiling fans, among others.
The command is doing its best to ensure that peace continue to reign in Kano State. A lot of machineries have been set in place to ensure that all these gladiators do not bring anything that will affect the security of the state.
The suspected thugs will be charged to court for prosecution.
Perhaps, because of matters arising, we had to go first to this. The first part of our discussion was about, youth involvement in politics, since you are driving different movements that involve the youth within your party as well. When will you galvanize your members as well as youth across the country not to be used as cannon fodder, for election violence? Even now, we're just in 2021. We're still thinking of this is still a chunk of time between now and the elections. And of course, we are seeing dangerous weapons like that even now. We're still in 2021.
Agreed. I mean, if you've been following developments across the world, you realize that Nigerians are doing pretty well in every field of human lives, except leadership, except governance. And for over the decades, I mean, I understand for the break in our democratic process, all of the military rule period and all of that pushed away a lot of intelligent people who have something to offer in terms of governance from politics. And by then they use that opportunity to reduce young people involvement to thuggery, and it hasn't in any way helped the people, the young people, or even the country. We hold the highest number of votes, our demography, the young people. We have the numbers. Democracy is about numbers, but the only time this set of people feel the young people should be used is for things like this. But we are saying no. We want to rewrite, we want to write our involvement, we want to get involved in a way we feel is appropriate for our generation and for the country. And by then, we've been talking to our young people. If you look at the APC as it is, you see that we have, a pool of vibrant young people. We basically ran the election in 2015 and in 2019. We were everywhere. We were not paid. We know what the opposition, young people in opposition used to get while they were in politics, while they were in government. But we didn't look at that because we have one and only one goal: make Nigeria the Nigeria we believe in, the Nigeria we want to see. That's why we are getting involved. But these people has continuously looked for ways to pull us down. But we are saying no, because time and time again we have met with Mr. President and he has said all of the things he's doing is for our generation. And he has shown through everything he's done. The Not Too Young to Run bill, the what's it called, empowering the local government, the legislative arm of, the judiciary, the legislative arm of states, like the House of Assembly, autonomy. And you see, everything he's done, and I am confident that eventually, by the time the cost of the direct primary is sorted out, Mr. President will pass it into bill, because it is democracy. The larger people need to get involved, and we know we hold the number. But we can't get involved unless...
So are you, it's like, especially as leadership, especially at the youth level, it's like a spider weaving a web. Are you getting more people into, to think this way so that the momentum will be much more than we're seeing at the moment?
We are, but at the moment, what we are doing, the first start of this, before you get anybody into a house, you are bringing people into a house of chaos. Nobody, it will be attractive to people. The kind of people we want to attract, not the kind of people they bring into the party and go and show to Mr. President. Those are not the kind of people we want to attract young people of quality, so that the other young people, so that they can inspire others to be better human beings. Now, what we are doing is cleaning our house so that we can bring in the right people. We are not going to bring in just anybody, no, we want even the people who are not up to that level to look up to these people and want to be better. The current set of people don't inspire us.
All right, let's take two more stories before we come, of course, to looking at the off-cycle elections as well, and young people in development. The People's Democratic Party has elected executives for the 14 local government areas of Zamfara State. The new executives will emerge through consensus were formed during the party congresses held at each local government.
The PDP local government congresses conducted under a peaceful and transparent atmosphere in all the 14 local government areas of the state saw the affirmation of new executives of the party to pilot its affairs in the next 4 years. The new executives who emerged through consensus received voice votes by 8 members from each ward that made up the local government area, including chairman, secretary, treasurer, youth and women leaders, as well as 3 delegates. The election of the PDP local government executives was carefully monitored by a committee sent from the party's national secretariat, officials of INEC, and security agents, among other critical stakeholders.
We choose consensus in order to build a party, and it is a duty bound on the stakeholders to either adopt or we go for election. And since they have adopted consensus, we welcome consensus.
We can see a paradigm shift. Virtually all the members that were elected today are vibrant youths who have the energy and the capacity to lead the party to greater heights.
Some newly elected executives and other members of the party who spoke during the Congress expressed satisfaction with the exercise, said the PDP will continue to promote unity and internal democracy towards achieving victory at all levels. The PDP is billed to conduct state congress for the election of state ESCOs in due course.
All right, before I go to, issues of election now, have you exhausted every, internal party mechanism to perhaps push through some of your agitations?
Yes, we have. As I sit here, I was the member of the appeal committee for the World Congress and the Local Government Congress in FCT here. I sat there and I listened to members, bring their complaints. It's easy to say consensus. Who decided consensus, like they did for us at the ward and the local government level and at the state level? We realized that certain stakeholders at ward level met among themselves and decided harmoniously who they want to give position. Then you find out that the names they submit, who they have chosen, are different from those that have been sent as elected executive to the headquarters. And when they come to appeal, what they hear is, you get all of this, and it's like there's an instruction And what else can the ordinary man do for his cry to be heard?
Okay, talking about elections very quickly, as this time is not our friend, the coalition of civil society organizations is pushing for electoral reforms and presidential assent to the Electoral Bill 2021, which is expected to set the 2023 general election on a sound footing.
A dawn at the Unity Fountain, Abuja. A promising day hosting promising youths. This is their dream picture. Hoping Mr. President will soon dot the lines with the red pen on the 2021 electoral bill.
We commend the President for seeking the opinion of INEC and the opinion of other institutions. We have no doubt whatsoever that INEC is prepared to monitor direct primaries in Nigeria. INEC is prepared to implement every provision of the Electoral Act. Therefore, we are urging Mr. President for him not to waste any time, for him to sign this bill.
We've seen what happened with the beavers in Anambra, so we want to see more of that progress because that's how the country develops it. So it's about strengthening democracy.
A prayer not yet answered, but what everyone must do in case the prayer is answered, already set out.
This work of educating the people about the new law, which is the Electoral Act, must begin earnestly. And INEC too must have the time, political parties must have the time to meet the deadlines and the new timelines in this new Electoral Act.
Task set out. 17th December is Mr. President's birthday, and on a lighter note, they said, signing it on December 17th, a great birthday gift. This is a cheerful point made. Rally dismissed.
Pictures don't lie. What we see most is perhaps a reawakening of the youth in terms of the direction that they want the state to take, the state, I mean Nigeria. And of course, you have passionately spoken for the past half an hour about where you want Nigeria to be and, galvanizing youths just like yourself. Now we're looking at a date with destiny in 2023. Are the youths ready for this, especially with the numbers you spoke about earlier in the program?
You see, I do not kid myself to think that the young people are just going to wake up one day and come into the game, then take over the position. It is not a struggle of generation. There's still so much for us to learn from those ahead of us. But what we are saying is, we want to learn from the right people. We want to learn the right things. We want to learn the right processes. And the only way for us to learn is to be involved. We made this decision long ago. That was why we, under the leadership of Ismail Ahmed, started the APYF even before the merger happened in 2013. We have been actively involved in partisan politics, actively day and night. We have invested our life, our time, our resources, not because we want, to milk the state out of this, but because we want a state we'll be proud to call our own. We want a Nigeria that every Nigerian in and outside of Nigeria to be proud of. For us to do this, I am not one of those who think we should have a young president, no. We need young people brought in and tutored so that they can take over. But we want to learn from the right set of people, and we want to learn the right set of things that will be very instrumental in building the Nigeria of our dream.
Ali Audu, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You've been watching the political update for today, the 3rd of December 2021, and of course we urge you to play your policies for the greater good, and of course you can still watch a repeat this weekend of the program. We'll be back again on Tuesday bright to give you another dose of political updates where we give you the very best of political news, reviews, previews and interviews. My name is Fisayo Ogunfri. Thanking you for staying tuned. All the best. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye now.